else. What about the other side of the ball? What do you need to get better on that side of the ball?
We got to get pass rush. However we can get it. Edge blitzers, it could be a nickel, another safety who can affect the game, an inside linebacker you can move around, can be an interior pass rusher, an edge rusher. We don't care. Coach Ajero and I, we're on the same page with that. We have to find a way to continue to affect the passer, affect the quarterback, so that in those games where they have that 2-minute drive. Now, Matt Stafford's pretty good, but let's get after him. Let's get after him in different ways. And there are certain ways to do that, and we can address that in free agency or the draft. So that's a priority for us.
Well. Hey, man, it's free agency. You hear it. Free agency is up first. You hear Coach Canales talking about what the next steps are for this team, particularly the defense, to take that step forward. And he said pass rush, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. And he don't care. I don't care how it comes. That's what he said. I don't care where it comes from. We have to be able to affect the quarterback. He was like, yeah, Matthew Stafford is a good quarterback. But dang it, it's pretty easy to move the ball down the field when you're not getting no pressure on the man. You know what I mean? So, like, pass rush has to be our biggest focus. It's the biggest need. Linebackers up there as well. Tonight, we're doing a position fit series for free agents, and I'm starting with linebackers and edge rushers. We'll do another one where we talk about some more defenders, a little bit on offense as well. But I feel like this needed its own episode. Shout out to everybody that's here for the live. We will be doing, just like we did during the season after further review, live film breakdowns on 3 different guys for each position, for linebacker and 3 for edge rushers. Shout out to people that are live. Shout out to the members. If you're the members, you'll get this replay unedited. If you want to consider joining the channel, being a member, just become a rookie or a vet. You get a full unedited episode like these. I'm going to continue to do stuff like this offseason just to give you something similar. Shout out to all the members supporting. You guys are everything for me. And so consider joining the channel to support me as well as an independent creator. First things first, I please need you guys to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. I also need you to please give the video a thumbs up if you have not. If you're watching this, it really helps me out in the algorithm, gets this thing growing. I've been really stagnant on subscribers. I'm not going to lie. I've been trying to hit this goal, but I literally have not. I've been stuck in the mud with my subscriber count. 18,300. I've been in that range for a month. And I know I haven't been dropping as many film breakdowns and season's over, but dang, a month I've been stuck at 18,300. So hopefully you guys can subscribe and then stick around to the end. If we have enough time, if I don't go too long, maybe I'll do some current event news for what's going on with the Panthers. I may do it in a separate video. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We'll talk and interact as things go. Shout out to Chief of Death. Shout out to SC Panthers boy. The Sunday Styles dream will be over probably. Josh, keep pounding. Fade NYC, what up? What up? Daniel Wu, what up, though? Brandon Stewart, what up, though? Double O Kane, what's good, brother? What up, though? Dana Lowe, excuse me, what up, though? Mr. Luke Cage in the building, what up, though? Glad y'all could hear the video on the intro because you heard Coach Canales say it. You heard Coach Canales say it. Killer Kill, what up, though? So let's talk about it, man. I'm not going to waste too much time. It's not going to be one of them, the streams where I mess around. We're going to get right to it. Panthers keep waiting to get my subs. I will. But yeah, make sure you guys please give the video a thumbs up. We got 55 people here watching, only 23 likes. We can even out that ratio. I really appreciate that. Right? So let's get into it, man. Panthers needs pass rush. Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. I'm gonna say it again. I think I say it again. Pass rush. They have to be able to get after the quarterback. The second worst pressure rate in the NFL. We spent all that money on a defensive line. We double dipped at edge rusher and still had one of the worst pass rushes in the NFL. Now, again, I know we double dipped. I know Turk Wharton was supposed to be a pass rushing interior guy. He was hurt most of the year. You know, so I get it. We're going to get some reinforcements. I know Pat Jones was injured as well. He'll be back. But we still weren't good enough. Remember they had that little pass rusher congregation come to Jesus meeting during the season because it wasn't good enough? and it still didn't work. They had a prayer meeting in the locker room between our edge rushers, and it still wasn't enough to improve that pressure rate. It's amazing that guys like Mike Jack and J.C. Horn had such a good season with no pass rush to really help them benefit. And it's not like we just had a bad front four. When we blitz with linebackers, it wasn't successful either. That's why Canales is talking about it can come from anywhere. The interior, the edge. We didn't have great nickels to blitz unless it was Trevor Mowry. And then that made it obvious because if Trevor Mowry is lined up in the nickel, there was a good chance he was going to blitz. And so we just need to be able to get guys that can get after the quarterback. Pass rush is the biggest need, in my opinion. And again, just the youth needs development. A season 2 jump for Nick Scotton will be just what the doctor ordered, and I fully expect it. This guy puts in a lot of work. I've been watching him on my Instagram. He's been in the lab for the past 2 or 3 weeks, already getting stronger, messing with the weights. You know what I'm saying? And so he's already putting in work. I'm expecting a jump. Once he gets his hand usage together, once he works on that balance a little more, you know what I'm saying? Gets a couple more moves to the repertoire to execute a little bit better. I'm expecting a big jump from Nick Scotton. We need Princely Umami-Yellen to make a jump as well. We do. I want him to get his body right to the point where I know he was at 265 or whatever. I think he could play a little leaner and get a little bit more speed and really take a step forward as that DPR pass rush guy that we need him to be. I know he had some backhanded comments at the end of the season, but he got to hold himself accountable to an extent too. And I'm a Princely guy. Y'all know me. I love Princely coming out. And so I think we just need our youth to develop and step up as well. You know what I mean? And so with that, there'll be some natural progression, but we still need help at edge, interior rush. We need linebackers that can get after it. Nicole Ivory, what up, though? My boy Low in the building. Said they need to bring out the anointing oil next time they're in the prayer room. Straight up. Bring that anointing oil out, man. And so we're not going to be able to call. And people are talking about we had one of the worst third down defenses in the NFL. If you can't get after the passer, you're going to be bad on third down. Because third down is when it's usually obvious pass scenarios and you can get after the quarterback. But I gave you the statistics in a previous video. It hasn't been good for the Carolina Panthers, even on the obvious pass scenario. So I don't want to hear blame about the system for Ejiro Rivero being the issue and y'all having to stop the run first before you can get after the passer. You don't have to stop the run on third and long. If you're still doing that, you're being a robot. The Panthers had the second worst pressure rate on third and long, the third most missed sacks on third and long. And again, second to last in the NFL in pressure rate. Something's got to give. If you can't affect the quarterback, it's going to always limit the ceiling of your defense. Right? So let's do it. Let's add to it. You heard Canales. The next team need is linebacker, man. And currently we only have 2 linebackers on the roster, and that's Bam Martin-Scott, the undrafted free agent of South Carolina, and Trevin Wallace, who for the second year in a row, his season ended early with a shoulder injury that requires surgery. Trevin Wallace will be going into his 3rd year. There's been some struggles for him as a former 3rd rounder. Yes, there's some natural progression that happens with linebackers. It takes some time for them to develop. But at the same time, it just feels like the progress that we need just hasn't been there. It hasn't. The numbers for the linebacking group are pretty bad. In terms of PFF grades, Trevin Wallace ranked 67. Christian Roseman ranked 80th. They only qualified 83 linebackers. So out of 83 linebackers in the NFL, we had 2 dudes in the bottom 16 out of 83. That's the bottom 20%. The bottom 20% of the league are both our starting linebackers. And Lord knows the Josie Jewell retirement was a big blow for us. On paper, during free agency, Christian Roseboom was never supposed to be a full-time starter. But the fact that our front office gambled on Josie Jewell, who had been having concussion symptoms since the Cardinals game of the previous year, is kind of malpractice. And I love Dan Morgan. But for what they put on the field at linebacker, they got exactly what they deserved. I'm just going to say it. They got exactly what they deserved. And so I understand there's only so many resources that could go around. We had to upgrade the D-line. We had to get Shy Tuttle about the paint. We had to bring in a guy like Bobby and Turk. I get it. We had to bring in Morid because we needed safety help. We had to get Jordan Fuller up out of here. But linebacker position ended up being the odd man out. And again, I don't know if they were counting on Jewell to come back, but they know he had been in protocol since the previous season. And so for him to retire before should not have been a surprise. It shouldn't have been a surprise the result you get. And so I just think that it got the short end of the stick in the 2024 free agency. There's a lot of improvement made on defense, but linebacker was something that didn't get the assets it deserved, and the results on the field showed. I like to give young guys 3 years to develop, but I'm kind of out on Trevin Wallace. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm kind of out on him. I would not let the presence of Trevin Wallace deter me from drafting 1 or even 2 linebackers. This is a deep group of linebackers. I would do that. And there's even 2 guys in free agency I may pay for. And so I just think that they need to figure something out. They do. And so that's what this video today is going to be for. We're going to get 3 names for 3 edge rushers, 3 linebackers. We're going to look at some tape. We're going to look at their projected salary. I'm going to tell you how they fit and why they fit, and is what I like what they bring. It's going to be a fun night. Fun night. Let's go. Get back to this super chat. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Luke Cage, on the super chat. So I'm sorry to hate, but Evero is the reason. Name the years and teams Evero had a top pass rushing unit. Todd Wash ain't coached the top line since 2017. It's not going to matter unless you get Garrett and Crosby on our D line. Hey, look, look, I understand. He's not typically a pressure type of unit, but it sounds like Dave Canales, the CEO type of coach, is going to force him to come out of his comfort zone and be more aggressive. Now that Dave Canales is not calling plays, he can focus on being a full-time coach. And I think being a full-time coach, let me center this up. Let me center this up because I appreciate this. This is a good topic. I mean, you heard Dave Canales talk in that preview before the video. We have to be able to get pressure. He said that he's talked with the Giro and they're both on the same page. It doesn't matter where it comes from. We have to be able to get pressure. And so I think Dave Canales, being the CEO coach now and not having to call plays or not just focusing on the offense and saying, Ajiro got it on defense, I'm not going to worry about it. He can put his thumbprints everywhere on the offense, helping Bryce, trusting Brad and all them, making sure things are going straight, but also get to Ajiro. You talk about so much how you like the system, but there's some parts of the system that's not cutting it, that's not up to your standard. And you having these honest conversations, you're being honest with yourself enough to give up play calling duties. Let's keep that same energy for the defense. Now that you can be the head coach and the CEO, you can hold him accountable as well and apply the pressure to him to start applying more pressure. And I know Ajiro loves to play coverage. He doesn't typically like to blitz and bring pressure, but there's just some things that have to be done to really make this team get to the next level that we want it to be. And so I think Dave Canales is going to have to exercise some power as a head coach and start making some things shake. It may get uncomfortable on that defensive side of the ball if things ain't up to par. particularly in terms of getting that pressure and playing aggressive like Dave Canales wants to do. So we'll see. But again, you heard the clip. Jerry going to have to come out of his comfort zone and adjust. That's supposed to be his specialty, being able to adjust with the players that he has. Appreciate the super chat, big dog. Y'all make sure y'all please give this video a thumbs up. We got more people rolling into the channel, to the show. We got a great show tonight. We are about to get to our free agents. So, y'all ready for the free agents? Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Brendan Harris, what up, though? All right. Like I said, I'm not going to waste too much time on this stream. We're trying to get information through. Team fits. First things first, this is the big fish for me. Odafe Awe. Not your way. Not my way. This is our way. Odafe Awe. Everybody and their mama want to get Trey Henderson. Everybody and their mama talking about Max Crosby. Give me Odafe Awe. Give me Odafe Awe. This brother, all he did last time we saw him is have 3 sacks on Drake May in the playoffs playing for the Chargers. The upside is there. Another physical freak out of Penn State. I know his 5th-year option was picked up and he was traded by the Ravens mid-season. But all he did was parlay that into a phenomenal year. I'm not going to lie to you, man. He's 27 years old. He's big. He's strong. He's long. He can do a lot of things, man. He can do a lot of things. Elite athlete. He had 7.5 sacks and a 14% pressure rate. He was 11th in pass rush win rate after the trade from Baltimore to San Diego, LA. Look, I'm good on the older guys. Hendrickson, fine, whatever. I get it. Crosby is going to be a little pricey. The Raiders seem like they try not to play ball. Odafe Awe, if he hits the market, the Carolina Panthers need to do whatever they want to do. They need to do whatever they need to do and give him a blank check. I'm dead serious. And I understand. We don't just need some guys. We need the guy. And I think Odafe Awe can be the guy. He has inside-outside rushing versatility. He has a cross chop. That's his favorite move in the pass rush. We'll look at that. Again, he's able to win with speed. He's able to win with his hands. He's able to win with just pass rush moves as well and just flat-out effort. He closes well because of those long arms. The dude is a physical freak. He is. His PFF projection, that's wrong. My bad. Hold on. That was a typo. I put a 7-year deal on that thing. That's on me. It's a typo. There we go. I put 7 years, $77 million. I gave him a baseball deal. That's on me. 4 years, $77 million is the projection according to PFF. Now, the way edge rusher is looking in terms of a class of draft and free agency, if he's the top one to hit the market, that seems a little low. 77 divided by 4 is $19.25 million. If you can get Odafe Awe for $19.25 million, you should really take that to the bank all day, every day. Again, this guy is an elite athlete with long arms, and I still think he's an ascending guy. He fits the age metric that the Carolina Panthers have been doing. They've been hesitant to pay old guys unless they had to. When they got desperate, they paid a Jadeveon Clowney. They did. But they've been hesitant to pay these older guys typically. Awe is 27 years old. Again, 7.5 sacks last year in the regular season, 3 in the playoffs. 14% pressure rate. Give me Odafe Alway. His athletic put out a projection as well. That's 4 years, $88 million. That's $22 million per year. I'm doing that as well. I'm doing $22 million per year as well. I'm not losing sleep over none of this. It ain't my money. Give that man the check that he wants to get him to Carolina immediately. I know them taxes in LA and California are hitting him over the head. Get this man to the East Coast and save him some money and pay him some money. Straight up. Get Odafe Alway into a Panther blue. I need him in process blue. Again, I just think that we need not just a guy, but we need the guy. And so my plan A is Odafe Alway. I'm full of rhymes. I'm full of rhymes tonight. I am. And so I just think that this guy is in a price range that we can afford. He's a physical freak. You're going to see it. Y'all ready to go for the tape? Y'all ready for the tape? Let's get into the tape, man. Y'all make sure y'all get this video a thumbs up. We got Odafe Alway. This is the reason why I'm comfortable paying him 22, 20. I'll even go up to 25 million per year if we have to. If we got to pay that little trash tax that we usually pay to get up to a price range that's respectable, I'm for it. I'm for it. And so sometimes you got to do what you got to do. We need to get these guys like this don't hit the market, and I'm not sure he even hits the market. If the Chargers aren't stupid, they won't let him see the light of day because they have the cap space. But if they let a guy like this test the market, I need the Carolina Panthers to be on the phone and open up that checkbook and be all for this. This is a guy that has speed, that has athleticism, he has length, and he's only 27 years old. The upside continues to be there. I think Alway can be a guy that can be a difference maker for the Carolina Panthers in a big time way. That's why he's the number one team fit for me. For me. Shout out to Mr. Luke Cage on the super chat. See Evero operating my laptop. Look, man. Look. They folks got me in the streets defending Evero this offseason because they being a little too crazy, man. Y'all can't tell me how bad our linebackers are and then get mad at our defense giving up some plays. But next guy on the list is going to be Boye Mafe, edge rusher from the Seattle Seahawks. Now, do we become a guy where we pay for a team that went to the Super Bowl and showed some stuff like we tried to last year with Milton Williams or ended up selling for Turk for the Super Bowl loser team? And these guys, their stock is never higher than after that Super Bowl. But I think Boye Mafe is a guy that been a rotational guy. Needs some more playing time. He's not the guy, but he can definitely be a guy. He's great against the run. The production hasn't necessarily been there the past year or so. He had 2 sacks, 40 pressures, and a 12.7% pressure rate. Again, he only played about 50% of the snaps last season with the Seahawks. So getting more playing time, it would be a step up for him. Again, this is another one of those gambles like with Turk where he didn't play a lot. But we thought that, okay, hey, give him a bigger role. Give him a little bit of money. And we'll rock from there. This will be one of those moves. So it is some risk associated with this one. He mainly wins with just movement and effort. He definitely has a high motor. You know the Panthers love that. That's how Scorton is. He plays hard. He's a great looper on twists and stunts. Has a lot of great athleticism. He's a great athlete. Great athlete. Great athlete. But the PFF projection for him is 3 years, $49 million. 3 years, $49 million. So, of course, as a big step down from our way, I got to do some math. That's $16.3 million per year. So definitely more affordable. You're shopping at Target. You're not shopping at the Dollar Tree. You're shopping at Target. And then the athletics projection is 4 years, $73 million. That's $18.25 million. So a little bit cheaper on the year, but a longer deal. So that's the two projections for him. And so how do I feel about paying that money? I could probably stomach it. This will be my fallback plan. Still a solid player, good player. Not the guy, but he's definitely a guy. And he can make some things happen. Again, wins with movement, wins with effort. He's going to do what you need to do, play great assignment, football. And this is a guy that's a lot cheaper than Adafi Alway. The name ain't as easy to say either, but he's definitely a guy that should be in consideration. Let's go ahead and look at some of the tape. Boye Mafe is a guy. He's not the guy, but he's a guy. You see him winning with effort and the ability to move laterally up and down. 3 years, $49 million according to PFF. 4 years, $73 million. Somewhere between what, 16 and what, $18 million or so? Could be pricey for a guy just coming off of a Super Bowl ring that was only a rotational guy. But again, pass rusher and edge rusher is something that you're desperate for. You're going to have to pay a little bit of premium. You're going to have to. So Boye Mafe is another option for us. Let's get into a couple super chats really quick. Shout out to my guy Jason Hewitt checking in. Said, shout out to Steve O704. In the super chat. So Evero was the problem with this defense. He's the only DC that drops his pass rushes in coverage and drops DB in coverage. What sense does that make? He is not the only guy that does that. Kobe Turner. You heard of Kobe Turner? He plays for the Rams. He intercepted Sam Darnold in one of the matchups with the Seahawks and the Rams. And it wasn't off no deflection. It wasn't no ricochet. No. Kobe Turner dropped into coverage. Kobe Turner is one of their best interior D linemen. He dropped into coverage. Sam Darnold never saw it coming. He never saw it coming. He dropped into the passing lane and got an interception. The 3-4, the guys, they stand up edge rushers for a reason because they drop into coverage. They wouldn't need to stand up if they didn't drop into coverage as much. But that's just not out of the norm. That's just the nature of the system. Again, plenty of teams do it. It's just it just gets a bad rep from people when a Jerry Vero does it because he's nobody's favorite right now. And I get it. I get it. It can be frustrating. It can be frustrating. But I promise you, if we get this pass rush to where it needs to be, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. I promise you. I promise you. All right, guys. I got one more. Oh, so my bad. More super chats. Shout out to Mr. Luke Cage on the super chat. Said Turk get hurt more than 2 games this season on calling the cops, bro. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie. Getting hurt in a walkthrough is kind of crazy for Turk Wharton. He owes us big time as fans. I need him healthy for the games. He was supposed to bring Super Bowl experience. He was supposed to bring that interior pass rush. We missed out on Milton Williams, so he's supposed to be the consolation prize to help us get a little something. But him being hurt a lot of the year, and then again, having a walkthrough be what really, really set him down for that backstretch It's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough, boy. That's tough. And the contract is disgusting. The contract is disgusting. Because there's definitely no out of it this year. So I know fans talking about how to figure out how to move on from him, but there's no out from here. There isn't. So we just gotta try to make it work. Try to make it work. Shout out to Mr. Luke Cage. He said, Adafe, Boye, Padre, Kanye. I don't care. Just get to the quarterback. Look, he said he don't care what his name is. Adafe, Boye, Padre, or Kanye. Just get the quarterback on the ground. Get some pressure. Where is the pass rush? Good one, bro. I don't care what your name is, dog. Hefe. Shout out to Mr. Luke Cage. Said Eric Washington rushed to and dropped the whole D-line in coverage against Antonio Brown and the Steelers. Bro, Eric Washington era, bro. Oof. When I'm telling you everybody was on the same page of getting this man up out of there, Ron Rivera was way too loyal. Ron Rivera was way too loyal to Eric Washington, and he was the OG triple OG when it comes to Milk Dud head. Y'all be calling Ajiro that, but Eric Washington was the OG triple OG Milk Dud head. Shout out to Eric though. I don't know where he's at. Did he get fired, or is he still up in Buffalo? I know McDermott got up out of there, so I don't know if he got retained or not. I doubt he got retained. You know. I doubt he got retained. But appreciate you, brother, on the super chat. I don't know why my live didn't come up in notification. So I don't know if I talked about it. Yeah, we haven't got the linebackers yet. We're doing edge rushers now. I got one more edge rusher, then we're moving to linebackers. Y'all keep rocking with your boy. Make sure you guys get a video a thumbs up if you had not. If you have not, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Yeah, it's definitely a throwback. Eric Washington, OG triple OG. Jalen Phillips, man. Jalen Phillips he's probably my plan B. I'm not going to lie to you, bucko. Jalen Phillips was traded mid-year, another mid-year trade to the Eagles. And look, man, this guy's a player. He went and played back with Fangio. He played with Fangio when Fangio was there in Miami. Jalen Phillips is a guy that I think if he can be healthy, and he had a fairly decent amount of health this year, this will be a slam dunk buy low scenario for him. Again, he has hella injuries in the past. I mean, this guy has hella injuries. I cannot undersell the amount of injuries he's had in terms of just like season ending, surgery and stuff like that. You can watch Hard Knocks from a couple years ago, and he got hurt on there. But he had 5 sacks, 73 pressures, 18.8% pressure rate. That was 4th in the league after he was traded. Again, injuries have been his biggest issue. When he's on the field, the dude plays hard. He's going to make plays. He flashes power. He flashes inside-out versatility. He has a nasty inside swim move as well. Just an athletic freak with great size. Hand usage. He moves well. He's a great stunner. He plays the run as well. Just a great all-around edge rusher. Again, it's just the injuries. I don't know if the Eagles are going to be dumb enough to let him hit the market. They have a great GM, and they find a way to get some money. But if he does, again, the Panthers need to pounce. They need to pounce. His PFF projection is 1 year, $15 million, which is probably a 1 year prove-it deal because of the injuries. But I just think, again, the pass rush market is so desperate for dudes that a 1-year, $15 million deal just seems asinine. As a 10, as 11, as a 12, it seems asinine. Said Tepper's carpet could get the best of them. Look, the players voted the field an F in the NFLPA votes today. You may be right, but I'm so desperate for a pass rush that might be a risk I'm willing to take. It may be a risk I'm willing to take. You know what I mean? His athletic projection is 4-year, $98 million. So if he's able to get a long-term deal, athletic has him slotted for a long-term deal. That's $24.5 million a year. Again, if he's healthy, he is worth that money. If he's healthy, he is worth that money. You're going to see the tape here in a second. This brother, it can ball. He can ball. I have fun watching his tape because it's a lot. He makes a lot of plays, and he plays hard, and he does a lot of different things. He lines up in a lot of different places. And don't just tell me he only flourished because he was with Philly. He was cooking in Miami as well. I know all the excuses y'all be having baked in about why we can't or why we shouldn't have a guy. Don't try to tell me he only did something because of the good play. Nah, the brother balled with Miami. Miami. Bleezo got it. What up, though? Don't tell me that. But let's go ahead and look at this tape, man. So Jalen Phillips is the guy that's my plan B. If Adafi Alway doesn't hit the market, let's go to Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips doesn't hit the market, we cry. But seriously, Jalen Phillips is a great, great player. I think there's a lot of upside there. Again, just clean up some of these missed sacks. If he can finish a little better, he's going to bring a lot of versatility. He's used to playing in the 3-4, standing up. He can rush inside, outside, a NASCAR package with him, Scorton, Turk, and shoot. Who else? Anybody else? Princely would be great. The athleticism is there. The ability to make that inside swim or that fake stab hand swipe or club. The guy's a great player, man. I think if he can stay healthy, he's well worth the projected contracts that he has out there. We'll see what the Eagles do. Again, they're a smart team. They may not let him hit the market, but he's still a good player. Say, don't show him against us. He was awful against the run. We ran Rico to the side for almost most of that 206 yards. I would have to go back and watch all them big runs to see specifically if it was him completely at fault. I know we did run that toss sweep a couple times. I think he was blocked by a receiver or something like that on the crack block. And then I think we ran that inside zone inside the guard. So Hollywood goes global. What up, though? All right. We were rocking and rolling. Where we at on time? Hour and 14 minutes in. Pretty good. Pretty good. We're getting ready to go to linebackers now. Y'all ready for linebackers? I am. Because that's one of the bigger needs that we have. I know it's been a minute, man. And as Panthers fans, yeah, we get a little spoiled. I'm not going to lie to you. We're used to a standard of linebacker play, and it just hasn't been there. It just hasn't been there. Gone are the days of Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, John Beeson, Dan Morgan, Shaq Thompson. We used to have kings at linebacker. Kings at linebacker. But it's just different. We have to be able to get the linebacker position right. And this is the offseason to do it. There's plenty of options in free agency. There's plenty of options in the draft. We have to make this right. Restore order to the Carolinas. Make that middle of our defense feared once again. What better way to do it than the year that Luke Kuechly has gone into the Hall of Fame. Sam Mills is rolling over in his grave with some of the linebacker play that he's seen from some of these guys we have that's been wearing processed blue over the years. I'm talking about 56 from the Matt Rule era. I can't even remember brother's name. 52, I'm sorry. 52. 56 now is the problem. Roseboom. Wallace. We got to get right. We got to get right. We have to. And so let's go ahead and make these linebackers what we're used to. Whether you have to pay for it or spend extra draft capital, something got to give. Something has to give. Man. Why don't I? Chubb is fine. Chubb is like a fallback plan, though. He's older. We won't get him for a long-term deal. All those guys I listed are long-term answers at edge. Someone that we could build around. That's what I'm looking for as far as the top three. Chubb will be a fallback plan. If he comes to us, I don't see us paying big money, but I do think we're going to be in contact with him. He's from the Carolinas. I mean, not from the Carolinas. He's from Georgia. He played at North Carolina State, so he's familiar with the Carolinas, familiar with Evero. It would make some sense. Fairly productive last year. Just not my top priority. All the guys I'm listing and talking about are long-term answers. Building blocks. Type of free agents, not stopgap free agents. Chubb may feel like a more realistic option, but it's free agency. Gotta dream big. Gotta dream big. Devin Lloyd. We're talking about dreaming big. Number one linebacker on the market right now. And he will earn a pretty penny. 27 years old. Great all-around backer. Crazy production in this final year for the Jaguars. They're not going to be able to afford him. He's going to the market. In terms of rushing the passer, he doesn't have the best IQ. He's a good spiker. When I say spiker, I mean like when you're running like stunts, he's a good picker. Like if I have Derek Brown beside me and I'm rushing as Devin Lloyd and there's a guard in front of him trying to block Derek Brown, I'm running into the guy trying to block Derek Brown. Derek Brown's going to loop around me. And the fact that guy's trying to go after Derek Brown, when I set that pick, just like basketball, he goes around and he gets free to the court. He's good at doing that. But sometimes it's to his detriment. Like he'll take himself out of the play by trying so hard to be a picker. I call that being a robot and not always being a football player. But he's not a pass rush specialist. He just has that pass rush upside. But again, we need guys that can get after it. But he's good in coverage as well. You're going to see the IQ, the awareness in coverage. He's rangy. He's very, very athletic. He moves well. He hits hard, tackles well in open field. That's a good all-around linebacker. He reads the eyes of the quarterbacks well as well. This is a guy that, again, we're talking about building blocks type of players. Building block type of players. And that's what I think Devin Lloyd is. Now, of course, in this group as a whole, not everybody's a quote-unquote building block type of player, but Devin Lloyd being 27, there's a lot of meat left on the bones. A lot of meat left on the bones for him. Now, let's look at some of these contract numbers. PFF projects him for a 3-year, $48 million deal. That's $16 million per year. I'm here to tell you right now, I will pay that money. I will pay that money, and I will pair him with another rookie that will be cheap. Let Wallace compete with the rookie, and let the best man win. I'm bringing in a rookie that has pass rush upside, that can get after the quarterback, competing with Trevin Wallace. Devin Lloyd's my linebacker one. Let the best man win. Period. But 3 years, $16 million. So what? It's not a premium position, like y'all like to say. I don't care. You got to pay to play. Number one player at his position in free agency, he's earned the right to get this money. And a lot of people are going to be coveting him. So you're going to have to have a little bit of a bidding war. So be it. 3 years, $48 million. Sure. Now the Athletic kind of wilding. 4 years, $76 million is $19 million per year. Now I will say you this. I ain't paying $19 million. I'm not down. I'm not down for $19 million though. That's kind of crazy. 19 mil for an inside linebacker is crazy. Crazy. And again, the range on these averages and totals are just crazy. Devin Lloyd can wear the green dot. He can be your leader. He can be that building block on defense. Pretty much never leave the field. He's that type of guy. And again, this is the dream scenario, but somebody mentioned it earlier. Mike K, he said he wasn't reporting or stuff like that, but we heard Dan Morgan say they were going to, quote unquote, attack the linebacker position. They attacked the guard position and spent $150 million between Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis. They attacked the defensive line and brought in Bobby Brown and Turk Wharton. Spent a lot of money there. They attacked the secondary and brought in Trevor Moehrig, giving him $15 million a year, the highest safety deal. So just know they're going to put that full court press. They tried to attack the D-line with Milton Williams. They thought they had Milton in the bag. Shoot, Dan Morgan went on Pat McAfee today and talked about how Milton was supposed to be a Panther. But at the umpteenth hour, Rock Nation and Jay-Z and them played us. Played us. Look. $19 million. He gonna have to get some of that. He gonna have to get. So he gonna have 10%. Gonna have to go to ties and offers for that. Good Lord, 19 mil. You might have to pass that collection plate, raise some funds, sell some chicken plates, some donuts, ride some cars in the parking lot of the bank. You know. We might have to raise some money if we want to pay $19 million a year. That's kind of nuts. I ain't gonna lie to you, bucko. It's kind of nuts for you, bucko. I ain't gonna lie to you, though. We signed Devin Lloyd. I'm stripping that 0 jersey off of JT Sanders so fast. I'm taking that thing out so fast. Give me that 0. We giving it to Devin Lloyd. He might have to pay JT Sanders for it. He gonna have the money, but I'm snatching that thing off of JT Sanders so fast. You would have thought it was some NBA warm-ups. Who you think he is? $20 million. Who you think he is? Chelsea Clinton? So who you thinking they kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton? I gotta go back and watch Rush Hour, man. Classic. Anthrax said he getting that money. he getting that 19? Sheesh. 16, 17, cool. 18, 19? Woo. That's pass rush money. That's pass rush money. That's almost pass rush money. You know? But I'm snatching that 0 jersey off of JT Sanders. I'm sorry. Come here. Ain't that what's the name say? Come here. I'm snatching that jersey off and giving it to Devin Lloyd ASAP. 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 Shout out to Mr. Luke Cage on the super chat. Said he wasn't doing no more, but he had to get one more. See, Luke Kuechly was going to introduce Sonny Styles to the Panthers in 2026 draft. Man, my Sonny Styles dreams, man, they took a big hit today. He balled out the combine. 43.5-inch vert, 6'5", 245. Ran a 4.47. A 4.46. Sad, man. I'm gonna have to watch some more college tape tonight if I gotta start a new agenda. A lot of linebackers had a good day, and I understand it's a deep class, but they're not Sonny. There's a big gap between Sonny and the rest of these dudes. That's why we got to get Devin Lloyd. You put Devin Lloyd with a couple of these other guys, I feel a lot better. Don't give me no mid-tier free agents with a mid-tier draft linebacker. Give me Devin Lloyd and then one of these mid-tier linebackers that can develop. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you on the super chat. Man, we get Sonny Styles, I'ma cry. I went ham when we got T-Mac. It's gonna be something serious. Anthony Hill ran a 4.51 today. He's not a lot of people's favorite, but he's okay. He's not as physical as I would like for a guy that big. But yeah, CJ Allen, he didn't perform today. But all the other guys did, they did pretty well. I don't want to get too far on the draft. This is about free agency, though. So Dan and Tillis have shown they will not overspend. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say they wouldn't overspend. They overspent on Turk. Clearly. They overspent on Turk Warren. They overspent on Mo Rig. Mo Rig's worth it. But these are guys that they're paying more than anybody else probably would have paid them. That's what I mean by overspend. But when they end up playing good for you, it's all good. When they don't play good, they look bad like Turk. But when they play good, it don't feel like an overspend. Robert Hunt, he got paid, probably was an overspend. Was a Pro Bowler first year, got hurt in the second year. So long term, it's like, okay, up and down about getting your money's worth. But he played great. He played great. So it was worth it. Bryce Young improved and played great. So it was worth it. There's one or two guys every offseason they're going to open that checkbook up for. Everywhere else, they're going to try to get value. But again, year one with them, they spent hella money on Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt, $150 million. Last year, they spent hella money trying to go after Milton Williams. But the only reason they drew a line in the sand on Milton Williams is because he wanted more money than Derrick Brown. The optics of that just wasn't going to work with Derrick Brown being your best player and your leader. So they had to fall back. They thought they had Milton in the bag. Trevor Moehrig, they spent a lot of money on him. He got the highest paid safety contract in free agency last year. They spent a lot of money on him. So they're going to spend money on one or two guys that they really, really want. And that's why I think when they say attack, they may give Devin Lloyd what he wants. And I hope they attack edge rusher the same way if those guys hit the market. You know? So I just think that if it's the right player and they feel like and identify as a value and as a need, they're going to go after him. And so I think, again, they have a little bit of an appetite for a couple guys. That's more aggressive than we typically see. I mean, Robert Hunt I think that's the largest contract we've ever given out to a player that was an outside free agent in terms of what we gave Robert Hunt. Of course, we gave Cam $100-something million. I think was Luke $100 million deal too? Can't remember. DJ Moore, of course, was $100 million. Homegrown guys. But guys that weren't homegrown, I think Robert Hunt's deal was the most we've ever given out in franchise history. So that just shows you their appetite for spending when they feel like they have a need. They're going to attack the needs. Even if they got to pay a little bit of extra. Yeah, the Turk, man, they should have just took the L. They should have just took the L when they missed out on Milton. It felt like it was a panic move. It, it is what it is. He said Sonny's the next B. Wag. They're saying Sonny is going to be, they calling him Fred Warner. But again, Devin Lloyd, somebody's questioning him saying that his production, I mean, yeah, it's a contract year. He played great. It happens. You earn the right, but you bet on guys continuing to improve. You're betting on guys to improve. Dude can play. Y'all in the chat saying he worth the money. He got hands. We got to give him that money on. He must have played safety. So you're gonna need that zero off of you, JT saying. I'm telling you, bro, Devin Lloyd, he's the number one linebacker on the market for a reason. The tape is phenomenal, man. You guys see the tape. It's phenomenal. I mean, he's been hooping. He earned the right to be in the driver's seat for a big payday. Period. And so I'm really excited about the potential of us making a strong run. And I think it's just gonna be about him. I think we're gonna do what we can to put that press on him to try to get him here. Talking about attack linebacker, I think it could be that missing piece. The coverage, if not anything else, the coverage, it will be worth the money. The coverage alone will be worth the money. But you saw in the run, the pass, rushing the passer, he brings a lot of things to the table that I think can be an asset to this defense. He does. Next up, Nakobe Dean. Now, Nakobe Dean is a guy that, we want to talk about injuries, big time. He didn't even fit. He missed the playoffs this year. He's dealt with injuries a lot. I think he missed his whole rookie year for the most part because of injuries. I think he was injured coming out of the draft. Like, this dude gets hurt. When I say he gets hurt a lot, this dude gets hurt a lot. But he's 25. He has experience in the Fangio style of defense. That's why, obviously, coming from the Eagles, this would be probably my plan C in terms of free agency. But Nakobe Dean is a guy that has a lot of blitz value. And according, like I said, listening to Dave Canales talking about we need to be able to, even if it's using a linebacker in different ways to get after it, to get pressure, we have to be able to get pressure. Nakobe Dean is that type of guy that you can add to this team, and he's going to help you in the pass rush game. He's a smaller backer, so sometimes it can be a detriment to him in terms of just coverage. But he's a fireball in terms of getting after the passer. He had 10 total pressures on 30 pass rush attempts, so 33% pressure rate. He's good sideline to sideline, chasing down runs when you keep him clean. Physical enough to take on blockers, but doesn't always play fast enough to beat them and get negative plays. I think his size kind of prevents him from getting negative plays because, again, if you don't have the size, you're not going to always have the stopping power to get guys down on first contact or get off blocks quick enough or beat blocks quick enough. If you're small, you got to be quick enough and fast enough to beat blocks to get those negative, type of plays. And that's not necessarily what he's able to do. But again, he's smart enough, fast enough to sniff out screens and make plays. Nakobe Dean is definitely an option. Again, he's probably my plan C because of the injuries, but he's 25 years old. You're kind of taking a bet on him if you do it because it's a gamble with the injuries, but it's kind of the nature of it. His PFF projection is 3 years, $41 million. That's $13.6 million average annual value. That's a little rich for me. I'm not going to lie to you, bucko. $13 million is a little rich for me. I can't do that for Nakobe Dean. I just don't trust him health-wise. I just can't do it, and he's limited in certain areas that I think are must-haves. But I definitely think that pass rush has value. But he's way too limited in other areas for me to be wanting to give him $13.5 million. The Athletic has him at 4 years, $40 million. My only hesitation here is the length of years. I'm good with $10 million per year. Again, this is my plan C. This is my plan C, but $10 million is something I can stomach. It's something I can stomach. For sure. So let's get into his tape next. And here's a pretty fun tape as well. But again, the value for him, for me, is in that pass rush game, getting after the quarterback. So again, if we go Dean, this is why I would have wanted a guy like Styles, who you can trust to be better in coverage at times. It may not be the best blitzer, but you pair him with a guy that can cover. And you have a pretty good combination of guys that can overlap and take and pick up the slack on certain skills that one is lacking. You know? That's where my thought process is. You pair him with the bigger backer, like a Golday or a Anthony Hill Anthony Hill's not the best cover guy. He's okay. He's pretty solid, but not the best in my opinion. There's better. Jacob Rodriguez is a better cover guy. I wouldn't pair like Nakobe Dean and CJ Allen. They seem a little redundant. Not just because they're Georgia linebackers, not just because they're in that 6 feet, 230 range, but their skill set is very similar. So I would you have to pick the right linebacker to pair him with. And if you want a little bit of a preview of what the type of linebackers in the draft, I did my linebacker video already. Shameless plug by me. But let's get into the tape. Things happen. So again, Nakobe Dean is another option. He's probably my plan C. Again, projected 3 years, $41 million per PFF, 4 years, $40 million from The Athletic. I'm more in that $10 million range compared to the $13 million range because of the injury history. But you can't deny the value that he brings as a blitzer. Will be a definite consolation prize. I would definitely want to pair him with a bigger linebacker that can cover as well. Again, like a Jake Golday is what I'm looking at. I would love to do Sonny Styles, but we know what happened there. But again, Nakobe Dean is definitely an option that I think the Panthers could explore as a plan C option. That's just me. All right, last player. Now, y'all pardon me, man. Pardon me on this one. Because I'm about to gas up the ops. He ain't an op right now because he's about to be a free agent. But it's definitely some op film. So y'all please bear with me as we talk about the ops. Caden Ellis. Caden Ellis is a guy that I've had my eye on for a minute. Obviously, he plays for the Falcons, so we've matched up with him on several occasions over the last few years. This guy is just a very, very well-rounded linebacker. He's solid in coverage. He can play the run and key it very well. He sees screens very, very fast and gets there. He's super experienced. He's a phenomenal blitzer and pass rusher. You can line him up on the edge. You can line him up in the middle. You can line him up over the guard on the interior and rush as well. Just a guy that you can do a lot of things with and a chess piece type of guy. The only issue with Caden Ellis is he's 29 years old, or 30 years old, and does not fit the bill for what we typically go for in free agency in terms of age. But I had to make an exception because Dave Canales talked about how we have to be able to get pressure no matter where it's from. Whether it's a nickel, a linebacker, or a D lineman, we have to be able to get pressure. And that's where Ellis comes in too. His PFF projection is 3 years, $36 million. I do not see him getting a 3-year deal from anybody just because he's 30, 31 years old. Could he play till 34? Maybe. Will he get a deal for $12 million per year? I don't know. His athletic prediction is 2 years, $19 million. I would give him that in a heartbeat. I would give him 2 years, $19 million in a heartbeat. That's about where I would expect him to be anyway. That's $9 million a year. Seems a little low, but again, this is a big linebacker class in free agency and in the draft. He's a little older, but in terms of all-around football players, I think you can't do much better. I can see him going to a contender just because of what he's been through with the Falcons. But he's going to hit the markets what it sounds like, according to the Falcons press and GM. I would think it would be malpractice not to kick the tires on Caden Ellis. Age aside, man. Somebody mentions the name a little earlier. You spoiled my fun. But we about to look at this film, and man, It's I had to be choosy, and I watered it down a lot because he has a lot of different plays and does a lot of different things. And that's exactly what Dave Canales is talking about in terms of it doesn't matter where the pass rush and pressure comes from. We need to be able to get pressure. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this. These are three guys. Again, there's other names out there. Nick Chubb has been talked about. Somebody talked about Leo Chenal. I'm fine with a lot of guys in certain capacities. But again, you have to be able to pair them with the right guy in the draft for me to feel comfortable. We don't, at edge rusher, we don't need some guy. We need the guy. We don't need a dude. We need that dude. That's why I'm talking about an Awe. That's why I'm talking about a Phillips. Boy, Mafe is fine, but he's more of a piece. He's not the guy. He's a guy. Solid player. I think there's more upside with more playing time, but he's not the guy. He's a guy. Linebacker. They have to be able to give me some value, whether it's rushing the passer or being able to play coverage. Because then I could go into the draft and figure out, okay, if I get a good blitzing linebacker in free agency, let me make sure I get somebody that can cover in the draft, or vice versa. If I get Devin Lloyd, I could take a little bit of risk on a developmental guy if I want to go with Anthony Hill, or if I want to go somebody a little bit more versatile like Jake Golday, that's bigger, that's played back, has a background in an edge, and just complement each other. Or you can go with a guy like Ellis and then double dip at linebacker and get some youth there, and then have Ellis as a chess piece and a guy that's a green dot that can wear it and anchor the middle of your defense. So there's a lot of options. This is the part one of the team fit. We're going to do the second part. It's going to be mainly offense, but we're going to talk about what we need. It's going to be nickel and safety as well, and then a little bit on offense. We don't have much that we need on offense that I think we're going to go after, so it's not as fun. I think a lot of the bulk of our money is going to be spent on defense this offseason, so that's why I focused on that first, in particular these positions. But I appreciate you guys watching, man. This has been a really long stream, 2 hours and 11 minutes. We had to count down, so roughly 2 hours. It's getting late. I appreciate you. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you have not. Consider joining the membership if you want to get the full unedited version of this, and also draft breakdowns, free agent breakdowns, like just quick ones, film breakdowns of those. I've been dropping them as well as prospects. I'll continue to do that as the prospects go along and I get through my research. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you are subscribed so you're here for the next free agent part of this. Love you guys. Appreciate all the super chats and everything. Y'all have a good night. Off season almost here. We got 10 days till legal tampering. 10 days, 11 days till legal tampering. So prepare yourself. Appreciate y'all watching, man. See y'all in the next one. Peace.